Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show, Week 8 preview. Big Sip joining us from Melbourne. How was the holiday, Sip? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was lovely, mate. Had a great time. Kids had an absolute ball. Spent a week in some beautiful weather, mate, so can't complain.
Well, we need you back in Melbourne. You're the good luck charm, mate. Ever since you left Melbourne, we've been going horrific. What about the bloody Chargers just dominating tonight on defense, offense? The Vikings were pathetic. I thought they'd be able to compete. Carson Wentz, I don't know if it's him or the O-line. It was an amazing game to be at still so far, but geez, it was frustrating. Like, I don't know. What do you think of the game?
Well, Carson Wentz is hurting, isn't he? He is in some serious pain. I don't know what's going on there, whether it's a shoulder joint or something like that, but he is hurting and his O-line's not helping. And on the other hand, the Chargers were back. We've seen them kind of fall away a little bit. They started red hot, fell away a little bit, but that looked like the team that can be a playoff contention. So Herbert doing his thing. They ran the ball extremely well, and they were just giving it off to everybody. And that young tight end has had a massive 2 weeks, so it's been a big couple of weeks, and he might be one to find. So yeah, the Chargers were back for sure.
He looked good live, mate, I must say. He's a big target. Herbert goes to him as a little bit of a security blanket. Keenan Allen's his main man on third down, but I reckon he's got another option now, and then the lad come into it. Quentin Johnson, he was 0 targets, 0 catches. Fantasy owners would be filthy. We played against him in fantasy, so we were very happy with that one. But they've got a lot to do, and I mean, the second half was so boring. Like the Vikings just turning the ball. Carson Wentz was making me sick tonight, Sip. He was making me sick. We needed the Justin Jefferson tud, but we never got red zone at all. They got one red zone because Herbert threw a pick. It was really hard to watch if you wanted a balanced game. And as we know with the Chargers, their identity is the run game, and they established that tonight. Big Joe Alt, I couldn't see if he was out there. I felt like he was. Was he out there tonight?
I'm not actually too sure, to be honest, but they are back.
Yeah, they are back. Well, they're very well coached, and I should know if the big boy was out there, but I wasn't looking at the O-line that much, mate. I was just looking at Justin Jefferson. I think the Chargers fans were quite confused, Sip. I was getting real flat when the Chargers are getting it was 3rd and 8, and Wentz would get sacked, and I'd go, fuck! And the guy in front of me is like, who are you going for? You got a Lad McConkey top on. Anyway, too good, and the Chargers are flying. The Chiefs will need to catch the Chargers and Broncos. It's going to be a fascinating that one. All right, mate, it's Week 8 preview. Let's get straight into it, and let's kick it off with the remaining games in front of us. Let's start off with the Dolphins and Falcons. I think you know what I'm going to say, so you can just say it for me.
It's ladder, baby. We're going back to the ladder. We surely are going back to the ladder. It's Bijan Robinson. Let's just get it done. We will work our way up from there. If he doesn't have 140 plus, I will run Hoddle Street naked. That's what I'm going to do. That's what's going to happen. All right? It's on. We're on. That's going to happen. He has to absolutely be
140 yards and you're running naked down Hoddle Street. That is amazing. That is good by you. I think you'll be safe as houses, mate, because that's 140 is a lot, though. I don't think Bijan's done that for a while.
It is a lot, but that's just where it's at. He's the best running back in the game, right up there, obviously with JT, and they can't stop anything. If he doesn't get those kind of numbers, I'll be totally shocked.
Mate, that is a big call. You know why I love that? You know what I love about that is he hasn't rushed for 140 since week 6, so he'll definitely do it. I was just looking, he's done it twice this year, so with a matchup against Miami, why not? I remember I did the same thing last year with you. Remember I said they'll run it against the Panthers, and they ended up, I think he got 100, but they ended up putting Algier in, and they kind of split the carries. So let's hope they don't do that this week, but that should be a really fun one. And you know what? A-Chain gets a really good matchup. Christian McCaffrey exploded last week. They got great defense, but the run D's probably been the weakness. So they're the two that I like this week, Sip. Everything else, I'll probably stay away. You'd think Drake London to get back into the game. He'd be disappointed with how the offense went. Other than that, you got to stay away. As I said, I think the coach will get sacked after the game if the Falcons just obliterate them. Let's
call.
move on, mate. Let's get on to the Roquan revenge game. I'm not sure if he's played the Bears before, but I don't think he'll be playing in this one either. But it is the Bears and the Ravens. What do you like in this one?
Well, if Lamar's back, then it changes the dynamics massively in terms of their run game. So I think it opens up for Henry a little bit more. I think they can really get it going on the ground again. Henry needs to get going. He did actually a really good job last week in his run game. He got it back to 120 yards. So only having Lamar is just going to help that. But I really think it's a good opportunity for Zay Flowers. And Baltimore obviously is still favourites right now. They get Lamar back, they probably should be. So I'm really going to be on the lookout for Zay Flowers. He's had a couple of quiet weeks. It's time for him to get going, and having Lamar back will definitely help that.
And that's at the Ravens, isn't it?
Correct, it is.
If Lamar plays, I think they can slice him. I know the Bears have scored 21 points every week, but you'll need to score 31 to beat the Ravens if Lamar's under center. And Derrick Henry, he can go off as well when he's back. The one that I like is Flowers. I think Flowers will be someone that really gets going when Lamar Jackson's playing. And you'd think Lamar won't be using his legs as much, especially the first couple matchups. I mean, he's going to use his legs naturally, but he want to pass the ball. So I think that'll be I think the Bears are quite vulnerable in the secondary. Like we said, without Johnson playing, they've been horrific. And I think you saw last week, Olave got them out the back. And yeah, there's a big opportunity there. It could be Bateman. But on the other side, DJ Moore, we kind of have to give up on him soon. He's in my fantasy team. Do we give him another chance? I mean, the other guy that I liked last week was Loveland. I thought they've drawn a few plays up for him in the red zone. I like him for a touchdown, but still hasn't got it. I should stick with him. It's a bit like your man from Arizona, McBride. You've been ripping him all off-season, and he's had 4 tuds since the start of the year. You probably haven't backed him once. I feel like I should stay with Loveland once more. But let's hope that could be an entertaining game. We know the Ravens have been just getting obliterated in the secondary, although they weren't too bad against the Rams, even though they couldn't put any offense up. So that's a danger game, that one, Sip. I might just wait to see what happens with Lamar Jackson. Let's move on to the Bills and the Panthers. I don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Panthers as we record this podcast, but you've got to think Josh Allen off a loss, and they've just had the bye. They'll be ready to go. And I'm actually very confident. This will be one of my best bets of the week, Sip. But I thought they went away from the run game. I reckon James Cook can go bananas. He's a player that was actually doing really well against Atlanta the day that Josh Allen was throwing picks and didn't have his main man, Kincaid, at tight end, who kind of plays like a wide receiver. But James Cook is the reason they win games as well as Josh Allen. When he can establish the run and then they do play action and then they've got Josh Allen with his legs, they are unstoppable. And I think the Panthers they've had a good month, but I reckon they get a reality check this week. I've got the Bills and I've got James Cook, 100 rushing and receiving yards. I think he'll get more than that, but I reckon that's the game plan. We've got to feed James Cook. He'd be fresh. He would have been frustrated after the last couple of weeks. And that's the game plan, I think, heading in. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. I think the Panthers defense, they've been very good at being able to stop the run the last couple of weeks, but this is a different dynamic. Josh Allen being able to use his legs, and as you said, Cook, when he is on fire, he is very, very hard to stop. Evasive, great agility, breaks lines. They get the gap wide open for him, and he is just as quick as anybody out of the backfield there. So I couldn't agree more with that. I think the Bills need to make a statement, to be honest. Both these teams have got 4 wins on the board. The Bills have lost 2 in a row. They're fresh. Bryce Young is questionable. I think this is a statement game. They need to go out there and win at least by 2 touchdowns to get back on track to where they want to go and what they want to do. So I expect that to happen, to be honest.
Really well said. Now, mate, it's very important that we announce something that's very big. And a lot of us, a lot of our listeners and viewers and all the blokes that love a little bit of a punt on the PointsBet app, there's one position you need to be targeting this week. It's National Tight End Day, and last year we cleaned up on this day. For some reason, they draw up plays. They feed the tight ends.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I just need to announce that now. We should have said it at the start. It's National Tight End Week. So when you don't know who's going to score, just get right behind the tight end. We should have got behind the main man at the Chargers tonight. He scored the first. on National Tight End Week. I think it starts Sunday. I read that it doesn't start on Thursday; it starts Sunday. So that's why there's been no publicity. But we're going to start it now as we keep moving. It's the Jets at the Bengals. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, what do you do? We've said enough about these Jets team, and they have made a change. They're going to make a change. It's already been made. Fields won't start. You'll see Taylor on the field. Does it change up things? I'm not sure. If you don't have Garrett Wilson there, I don't think it really matters. So if the Bengals can keep going and with Smoke and Joe doing his thing with those two classy wide receivers, I think it can still get very ugly for this Jets team. I know they're okay on defense. Sauce Gardner is questionable, so that makes it even worse potentially. So whoever he goes to, put money on the other one to have a field day, in my opinion. So that's where I see it happening, and the Bengals are going to be too good at home.
Joe Flacco revenge game, mate. I think he's going to want to be slinging that ball. I like Higgins again. I think they can go bananas with the two receivers they've got, and we know they established the run game last week. I think I like the Bengals here, but I mean, the defense has been pretty good from the Jets, so it's going to be interesting. But without Sauce Gardner, you got to think, well, that normally goes, he normally goes to their best wide receiver. So you can kind of go, well, maybe Chase will have like 76 yards and a tud, not 150 or so like he did last game. I don't like anything from the Jets. I think Breece Hall's questionable. He should play, but I think their young tight end, someone that you could look at. It's just hard to know who's going to be out there. We're recording this podcast later than usual, and we still don't know, who's fit and available for the Jets on offense. So I'll be leaning to the Bengals, mate, considering it's at home for them, and yeah, Joe Flacco should be slinging that ball around. The Jets are still looking for their first win, and we have upsets, and you got to think, does the quarterback who you think would be Tyrod Taylor, does he get the win, with all the confidence and, saying that you're starting? This is what the NFL's like. You have these big weeks one week, and next week Flacco could throw 3 picks and have a stinker. It's hard to see, but I think Higgins, again, is a good player. I like Higgins in this matchup. You got to like Chase, and, not much else there. I'll keep moving to the next game because I reckon I've got something beautiful for you. It's the 49ers at the Texans. I watched the Texans live last week. I think Nico Collins, if he's back, I think he had that little concussion, but I'm not too sure how serious it was. If he's playing, I really like his matchup. I reckon the Niners, they've just lost another player on defense. They don't have a run game, the Texans. So I just think CJ Stroud, can he get back? Can he get a little bit more time in the pocket and sling that ball? Dalton Schultz was his main man on Monday night, but the one I want to talk to you about is George Kittle. I reckon he did his job last week. He blocked like a man possessed. So did Juszczyk, and it was a Christian McCaffrey day. But National Tight End Day, we know that there's one man that leads the charge. He might be the skipper of the tight ends, and I reckon he's going to have a massive day. I've just got him down here. I think he can explode. I actually like him for a touchdown and yards in this one. So very big on Kittle this week. So if you got him in fantasy, fire him up, Sip.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. He didn't score 1 point in fantasy last week, first game back. You're right, though. He did the job, which was excellent. And if I'm going to continue on the tight end train, Dalton Schultz has been the man so far for CJ Stroud. He had 9 catches last week, 93 yards. He's the guy that he's relying on right now, and without Fred Warner there, the tight end might be looking pretty good again from the Houston Texans. So let's see what they're capable of there. But I love the George Kittle call. He did his role last week. I expect big things this week for sure against that Texas defense.
Well, talk about big things. Oh, actually, I've jumped the gun. It's a game after this one, and I'll just let you think about it. The Giants at the Eagles. So just know that's coming, Sip. I'll take this one off you. The Browns at the Patriots.
Ooh.
If you've got Judkins in fantasy like I do, don't think you're going to get what you got last week. The Patriots have been amazing against the run. Now, I'm not saying play the unders because he has had some explosive plays, but let's face it, last week he was quite disappointing for our ladder bet after having 70 odd at halftime. He could not get anything going in the second half. He was just getting touchdowns because they were getting him positioned on the 3 and the 4 from Tua the turnover king. I don't like Judkins in this matchup, and I really do like the Patriots here. Stephon Diggs is someone I'm screaming out for a touchdown. I think I've backed him 4 weeks in a row since the Bills game. He's looked fantastic. He just can't find the touchdown. I'm going to go there again. I think the Patriots get it done. Drake May is one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the league. He's playing at a really high level. And yeah, the Browns, they had a big win last week. This is a completely different kettle of fish. I just really like the Patriots here, and I think they can dominate the game early, and then that forces the young quarterback to do things that he doesn't want to do. I don't really like anything from the Browns, if I'm honest. It's all about the Patriots for me, and I hope he throws the ball to Stephon Diggs.
I agree. Stephon Diggs has been really, really solid for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We just haven't found him in the end zone. But Drake May, he's at a different level this year. He's been outstanding, using his legs. Last week's game was incredible. I think he broke the record for the best efficiency for a Patriot quarterback. So he got Tom Brady's job done there. I think he went at 91%. So he's on apps. He's absolutely killing it right now, and they're just finding it hard to be able to stop him. He's really calm in the pocket. If he doesn't have an option, he uses his legs and off he goes. And I think teams underestimate that a little bit. So he's been an absolute weapon for them. They've got dangerous guys there. He's really good at throwing the deep ball. It's incredible to watch with such accuracy, and teams are finding it hard to stop. So I like Drake May to be able to continue his form, and I reckon you'll see some serious passing yards there.
Love it, mate. Well, let's get to the game that we all want to talk about. It's your two favourite teams. It's the Eagles hosting the Giants just 2 weeks later, baby. I can't believe the fixture. The Giants getting it done on prime time. We know what happened. I said it would be an A.J. Brown legacy game, and he never got the opportunities. It was set up for him. In the end, the Giants doubled their score. I think it was 34-17. And only 2 weeks later, they're playing again. And the Giants are flying. Like, they should have beat the Broncos. Dart is a superstar. Like, we've finally got one in New York, which is amazing for football. And then the Eagles, they bounced back last week. But you watched the Chargers tonight, like I did live, and you think, well, did they play anyone? Like, Brian Flores, he's normally got a defense. I don't know whether it's the offense not giving him a chance, but they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. They couldn't stop anything. And last week, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, they just exploded in the pass game. I wonder what they're going to do this week. A.J. Brown didn't practice yesterday. I don't know whether that's just soreness, because he does, but that's not a good sign. And if he is out there, are they going to pepper him? Like, he didn't get any targets. I really want to know what you think's going to happen here, because I naturally think the Eagles will bounce back. But, hey, if A.J. Brown's not playing, I'm a bit worried about them. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, A.J. Brown's now logged 2 non-practice days, Wednesday and Thursday. So it does make it very, very interesting. And that's repetitions that you don't get that you want to be able to use on game day. I know you've got your stock standard stuff that you can always go to, but there's always new things that get implemented for each game based on what the opposition gives you. And if AJ's not out there during the week, it does make it tough. So you're probably going to be leaning on Devontae a little bit more. And really, we sound like a broken record here, but the run game has just got to get going. I don't know whether it's an O-line thing that they haven't been able to kind of get the adjustments right, or whether it's Saquon and teams are starting to figure out how to play him a little bit better. I'm not too sure, but they have to find a way to establish the run. I know they didn't necessarily need it last week. Jalen threw some beautiful deep balls, and they made that Minnesota defense look very, very vulnerable. But they tried that against the Giants a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't work. So they need to establish the run. They need to find a way. The O-line needs to get going. They're healthy there pretty much. So let's go out there and make it work. It's as simple as that. But I think the Eagles bounce back. I think they've got a good enough caliber there to be able to bounce back and make it work, particularly at home. The Giants find it tough to play at Lincoln Financial Field. They don't have a good record there. They haven't for a long time. So that's in the Eagles' favour, and I expect that to continue.
Do you think the Giants will trade for a wide receiver this year? I personally think they will if they win this game. I think this game will determine how hard they go in trade period, because if they win this game, they're right in the hunt.
Yeah, that division, it really opens up all of a sudden, doesn't it? It's anybody's game, and I tend to agree. They've got to be out there looking for someone, and maybe it's a Kelvin Ridley. I don't know. Maybe it's someone like that they could go out there and try and get if they're willing to spend the cash on to make it work, because they've got a young quarterback that's happy to do it. And if he can get a genuine number one now that Malik Neighbours is gone, I'm all for it, because that division, as I said, opens up completely, and it is anyone's to take in the second half of the year.
That game against the Broncos, I'd imagine, was a physical game. It would have taken its toll. J.K. Dobbins, only the 14 carries, but 81 rushing yards. And then Bo Nix with his legs as well, 2 rushing touchdowns, 48 yards. They did all right in the run game when you think about it, because they were playing from behind. So maybe this is the week Saquon can get his 100 yards. I think his line's around 79.5, I heard. I'll have to have a look at the PointsBet app to see if it's moved. But if they can control the game and A.J. Brown is a little bit banged up, it could be a bit of a, Goddard, Smith, but just Saquon-heavy game plan. And if they can break them, that's when we know the big runs come late. So maybe we get behind Saquon. I don't think I'm going to, put him in my best bets or anything. I need to see it. I need to see that O-line. But yeah, it's a bit like tonight. If you thought the Chargers were going to win, they were going to break them. And I think Vidal's run line, his line for his rushing yards was like 59.5, and he ended up going for like double that. So if you can break that, barrier down, and it's like the defenses just get cooked. So hey, I'm all my attention. If I got to watch the AJ Brown scenario, because I did say it's a legacy game. I can't make that call now that he's been injured all week, and I don't like going to Smitty if he's there's only the only guy there, because they can double team. I've got my eyes on Saquon Barkley in this one, and on the Giants, I just want to see how Dart responds. I think that last week didn't go the way he wanted. They cut their kicker as well. There's a lot of things to watch there, the Giants, but this is big game, Sid. This is one of the biggest games of the weekend. I was thinking about it with the prep. Nothing standing out to me except just the game, and I feel like 1-13 or, whatever you want, 1-7, the Eagles should win, but I think it'll be tight and it'll be a bit of drama late. So, look, put it this way. If the Eagles drop this one, I mean, you've got to put a line through them this year. Is that fair?
Yeah, you're starting to ask some serious questions, to be honest. I think it makes it very, very tough. The NFC on that side is really, really strong. You've got some good teams playing some good ball right now, and it does make it very tough for them to be able to challenge to go back to back.
Let's go to the second window of games, mate. I'm on LA time at the moment, and then be on Nashville time. So, mate, you might need to I can't even remember what times they are. We're just living the dream over here, Sid. But it's the Buccaneers at the Saints. They hate each other, don't they? Baker Mayfield's already said that in the media.
Oh, no doubt. This team has got a big rivalry. Lattimore obviously going and leaving, with that big matchup against Edwards certainly changes the dynamics. But these teams do not like each other, so this is going to be an exciting one for sure. And I expect the Bucs to bounce back. They should. They need to be able to go in there and get back to what they do best. It wasn't a great performance from them last week against the Detroit Lions. I know they're a bit banged up and they're hurting. I know Mike Evans is out. But this one they should be able to take control of no matter who's out on the field there. So if we're talking about, again, the tight ends day, then Cade Otton is the man. Yeah.
You stole it off me, Sip. You stole it off me.
He is the man. He is finding the ball. Baker is looking for him. It is a big week for Cade Otton. I expect to see him in the end zone and maybe a couple of times. So he's the guy that he needs to find, and I think that continues this weekend.
He's had 81 yards, 51 yards, and 65 yards in his last 3. Has not scored a touchdown this year, Sip. I've been chasing him the last couple of weeks. They did not play well against the Lions. They're never really down there at all. I look at last year. He only had the 4 last year, but they all come in 4 weeks. And I'm looking at week 8 last week. He had 2. I'm not sure if that was National Tight End Week. It's always the 4th weekend in October. But he likes this week, I reckon, traditionally. So I love that call, Sip. I love it. And he's the main guy. I feel like, Emeka Egbuka will be, whether he's 100%. I don't think he was 100% last week. But he should light him up as well. We've got that new player they've got in Johnson. And, the running back room's a little bit banged up. But the Saints, they do allow a lot in the secondary. I think this game will be entertaining. I think Rattler can get going as well. Shaheed is the guy that I want to be, I reckon, on this week. Olave is last week. I reckon they might mix it up this week. And we know the Bucks, their secondary is vulnerable, mate. Whether they can do what they do to the Philly, how Todd Bowles just has his bunny sides, but I think that this could, the ball could be slinging around, and I'm really excited to watch this one. So, yeah, I think it'll be a little bit of speed from Shaheed at the back. But our man Otten should get a little cheeky one. Let's move on to another game that I really like. It's the Cowboys at the Broncos. This is going to be fascinating. And one reason that I do like is Javonte Williams, your man. It's his revenge game also. He gets to go up against his old side. He's running the ball well. I saw the head coach says, I like big backs, and I cannot lie. And it was a very nice little statement. He's going to want to have a day. I think he'd be a good one. They can get done on the ground. Scatterboo got him last week, a few weeks earlier. That's their weakness traditionally because their secondary is elite. But the way Dak Prescott's playing, he's dialing that ball to anyone. I don't know where to go, but naturally you think Lamb. I don't know who's Satan go to in this one, Sip?
Well, I think Satan has to probably go to George Pickens. I think he's the one that's mainly on the outside there. They move CD a bit too much, I think, for Patrick Satan to go to him. So I think they'd be leaning more towards George Pickens. So I like your call with CD Lamb. But I really think this is a Cortland Sutton game. I think the secondary is very vulnerable for the Cowboys. I know they were better last week, but this Broncos offense should be so confident after what they were able to do. I know they were poor for most of that game, but that last quarter, you never know. That just might light a spark in them now where they just become that dangerous. But this is a game for Cortland Sutton. He has been really good. He's getting his 5-6 catches, 80 yards. But I reckon he can get to triple figures here. I'm looking for 100 plus here and looking to find him in the end zone. I think it's a massive chance to be able to happen, and this is the game for him to do it.
I like what you're talking about because I think the same thing. I think it's him or it's Mims. I love Mims here. I think remember last year I said Mims is going to get a deep ball and he got that massive tud down the guts.
Huge.
I think this is a big Mims play action. I think there's something cooking. Sean Payton would have a play ready to go. Franklin, he scored last week. I think it was a bit of a ricochet, but I think Sutton's he's your main man. Don't get me wrong. I think Mims is an absolute weapon when they draw up a play for him, and this is the week for it. I think they're both going to try establish the run game, and he had a good game last week, and if this is high scoring, I just think there's something there for him. So I've got my eyes on Mims. I've picked him up off the waivers just purely for this week and this matchup. 31st in the league in defense. They picked it up last week, Sip, but let's not forget, Daniels did his hamstring at the start of the third, and they'd put up 22 points as well. It was gonna be lights out either way. They were still gonna put up enough. I still think that Mims can get going. So, this is gonna be fascinating. This one. I'm looking forward to seeing how they go with the run game with Javonte Williams, and I think the head coach will want to get him over. So that's a fascinating one there. Can the Cowboys start well? Get the run game going, and Bo Nix play from behind like last week. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's going to be really good. All right, the Titans at the Colts. You got to think this is. I mean, what are we doing here, Sip? What are we doing here? We're not even talking about the Titans, are we? Like this could be a 30 plus.
The Colts are the number one offense in the league right now, scoring the most points in the competition. So I think Daniel Jones will be resting halfway through the third quarter because this game is going to be blowout. And Taylor, it could be scary. So I don't like much about this game at all. Just watch out for those two guys doing their thing, and this game should be over halfway through the third. Move on.
We were very stiff last week. Remember that bet we said that they'd win by 20 plus? And they wouldn't score a tutty. He scored a touchdown on the first drive, I'm talking about Cam Ward, and then he was horrific after that. So it was like they said, let's just suss him out for the first drive, and then we'll work out exactly what we're going to do after that. And that's exactly what the Patriots did last week. So, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. But I look at the stats from the weeks before, and I think about, you got your new head coach. You've allowed Drake May to go 21 of 23 for 222 and 2 passing touchdowns. And they ran the ball as efficient as you'd like. Drake May had 62 rushing yards. Stevenson, 88 and a tud. They had multiple people on the field. Like, there's a spread of people. Diggs, 60. No, they spread the ball out. But I remember a booty deep ball. That just yells to me, Alex Pierce. I think he's the guy who come back last week. I think Downs was a bit banged up. But he's got some serious wheels on him. You've got Pittman, your man Warren. You've got to worry about Daniel Jones's legs. And you've got the triple crown running back. He's got the most attempts, touchdowns, and yards on the ground. And then you've got this speedster in Alec Pierce. I think he can do what Booty did last week. So I'm looking at him for a deep ball and a tud. But, they're so well spread out. This ball could go to anyone. Anything else in that game?
No, I'm going to go with Warren. Warren's been on absolute fire. You know what I think about him. He's an absolute star, and I think anytime touchdown is going to be probably one of my better bets going into it. So, I just think it's going to be a field day for the Colts.
Well, that leaves us with 2 more games. These are big games, but this could be the biggest. It's Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers is playing his old side, the Packers. If he beats the Packers, he joins Tom Brady as a player to defeat every single team in the NFL, I think it is. Right. I just can't see the Packers losing this one, though. Like, Micah Parsons is an absolute animal. I think we all saw how good he was last week in late in Q4. He really stepped it up and won them that game. But they're not going to really like what they did on offense. And let's face it, the Steelers allow like the most receiving yards to wide receivers in the comp. Joe Flacco went bananas last week in this spot. I just think this could be a really nice day. And, we're talking about Stephon Diggs and Cade Otton. Well, Matthew Golden's another one that still hasn't scored a touchdown. I am looking for him in this matchup. I'm going to stay with him. His production's been great. He just can't score. I think he scores this week. What do you think happens in this game?
I like your call, but I'm just going to look towards Jordan Love. I think he's been a little bit, not at his best at the moment. They're getting the job done defensively. They're putting him in good spots. He manages the clock really well. Does what he needs to do. But I just want him to explode. I want him to have this 300 plus passing game. I think it's the best chance for him to be able to do it. And that's the way that I see it. So I want Jordan Love to go out there and explode. So I'm hoping for a big 300 plus game. Let's hope that happens.
Well, last week I think about who got them. McBride, 2 touchdowns, 74 yards. Josh Jacobs, he didn't do much, just the 55 yards, but 2 tutties on the ground. And, Jordan Love, your man, well, he didn't, 179 passing yards last week against Arizona. Maybe Arizona's going better than we think. But I look at the targets, and Tucker Kraft had 10 targets for 5 catches and 58 yards and a tud. It is National Tight End Week. We should think about that. And Dobbs, 72 yards. Outside of those 3, no one got a look in. I've got Wicks here that I really like, but he's questionable with a calf, misses another practice on Thursday. I just really like Dobbs and Golden in this matchup. And on the other side of things, it's hard to think that DK Metcalf's going to have another quiet game. You got to think he's going to, if they're playing from behind, I think he can get his yards this week and maybe that tud. But Freiermuth was so impressive, and he's been nowhere this year. And that triple-headed monster with Washington and him and Jonnu Smith. I wonder what they do. Warren, can he get going? They got it going last week. I think this game will be close just because of the emotion in it. I think everyone will pick it up. But, hey, it's a big game. I'm going to lean with the Packers, even though it's at the Steelers.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think the Packers have looked like they're in the better form. And I agree with you. I think the Packers can get it done on the road.
Righto. This leads us to Monday Night Football. We love Monday Night Football. We love primetime. but I reckon this is the easiest bet of the week. They are flying. Jaden Daniels, he's not playing. I think Scary Terry may be back. If I was him, I'd just be waiting another week because what's the point? You got Marcus Mariota under center, and his first play last week was, here you go, Blandy. There's a pick six, son. Oh, that's a great start, isn't it? Washington, now you're down by 20. I just think Mariota's not up to it. The Chiefs are flying, and you know what I like this week? I like Rashee Rice for yards and Worthy for the tud. I reckon those two, they're the combo I'm looking for. I reckon Rashee Rice will get him up there, and Worthy will be the speeds that might even get a jet sweep or something like that. But they'll cook something up. I don't think they'll be peppering Rashee like they did last week in the red zone. But I reckon he's the main man getting them there and doing it quite easily. The Commanders have given up yards to everyone in the secondary. We saw what Lattimore's been doing all year. I'd be targeting him and going right after him. We know how heated he gets. This is a simple one for me. I'm just going to go the Chiefs, Worthy touchdown, and Rashee Rice, 70 receiving yards. Not even going to touch anyone on Washington because you just don't know who's out there and how healthy they are, Sip.
In all honesty, you took the words right out of my mouth, mate. I was all over Rashee Rice. I think it's a huge game for him. We saw a small part of what he was able to do last week. They just gave him a couple of little plays there just to ease himself into it. Week 2, they're going to fire up some more things for him, and Mahomes is going to be targeting him everywhere. So I think it's absolutely perfect. And if we want to cap it off with a National Tight Ends Day, then you may as well chuck Travis in there too. The game's opening up for him. We saw it last week. I think I'm here for Travis Kelce for an anytime touchdown just to add on to it for a little more fun.
I really like that. I was just thinking that then, Worthy and Kelce. Kelce, the main man. You got to think they're just going to feed him one. Him and Kittle makes sense. Don't you reckon? Him, Kittle, Otten. You like Warren. I think Warren's been scoring too much. It's not a bad way. It's not the way you should think, but he has been scoring a lot of tuds, and I don't know. You rarely see the picket fences, but you know if you're Jackson Smith-Njigba, you know it doesn't matter, does it? So I reckon the three that stand out are the ones we mentioned, and you know I wonder if there's one there for the Bears-Ravens game. You know, likely someone that we haven't spoken about all year. He played before the bye. Mark Andrews. Like I said, Loveland, Komet, all these guys haven't scored. And the other guy the guy that I love, Kyle Pitts against the Dolphins. Why not? It's National Tight End Week, right? So I think we throw in Pitts, Otten, Kittle, Kelce on the PointsBet app on American Aces Hub. And we have our little 4 touchdown scorers there with a few other combos, Sip, plus our best bets we're going to put up there later once we see the injury list. And we'll just load up and see how we go.
I love it.
All right. Well, I saw the thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, you'd understand the delay because Sip just gave us the biggest thumbs up of all time. If you're listening, that's why there was a delay. All right, Sip. Well, it is midnight here in Los Angeles. I appreciate you for getting up, after work and looking at you. The kid. What are the kids? You have to put someone on TV so the kids can be occupied for 30 minutes. Geez, the missus won't be happy with you. Oh, you are cheating the system.
We'll keep that under wraps. There may be a little wiggles going on. I'm not too excited about what's going to be happening there when I get back in. There might be an absolute shit show. But anyway, we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's very good. There you go, everyone. Aces NFL show, Week 8 preview, powered by PointsBet. All our best bets will be on the PointsBet app under the American Aces Hub, including the National Tight End Week and the Bijan Robinson ladder bet. We've got that already up there. I guess what, Sip? I told the traders, can you put it up to 200? It looks ridiculous, but there's a big pulse. He did 170 early in the year. You said you're running down Hoddle Street naked if he doesn't get 140. Let's just leave it there. The big Sip, the big slop-offs running down Hoddle with the old fella out. I tell you what, it's a safe bet. You won't have to worry about it. All right, mate, that's all I got for you. We're going to flight at 5 a.m. I think it was 6 a.m. it is, but we're going to be up at 5 to go to Nashville. We're going to follow Game Day and Pat McAfee and go watch Vanderbilt Saturday and then head to a sports bar and cheer on National Tight End Day. I can't wait. Good luck. Cox Plate. Good luck to everyone else out there, and we'll see you next week.
It's like tackling a block of cheese.
Fire up your NFL season with PointsBet. Now with NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Yeah, that's built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.